Why is evolution considered controversial? Or for that matter, why is instruction in evolution considered that controversial? There are three main reasons for this. The first is that evolution does appear to superficially clash with other worldviews that people have. Secondly, evolution is often a discussion between human beings with conscious and subconscious emotions that can get in the way of communicating effectively. And thirdly, many people possess misconceptions about evolution that are often never addressed effectively. Now, what do I mean by conflict? Well, the idea of evolution that all modern species are descended from a common ancestor 3.5 to 4 billion years ago does appear to superficially clash with the origin stories that we find in both the Bible and the Quran. Interestingly enough, Muslims use the same verses to both support and deny evolution. Those Muslims that see the verses as supporting evolution can be encouraged to further their understanding of evolution, not just necessarily accept it because it doesn't conflict with their understanding of the text. Muslims who see these verses as denying evolution can also be encouraged to understand evolution. The goal would be so that they can communicate with those who see the world through evolutionary lenses. Likewise, Christians and Jews who insist on a face value literal interpretation of Genesis 1 through 11 are correct in seeing the text, their understanding of the text, as in conflict with evolutionary theory. They too can be encouraged to understand it, not necessarily accept it, with the goal of being able to communicate with those who do see the world through it in an evolutionary way. And Christians and Jews who see the text of Genesis 1 through 11 to be understood in a literary manner will most likely not see any conflict with evolutionary theory. But they should also be encouraged to come to understand that not necessarily just accept it because that's what they've been told and it doesn't appear to conflict with anything they know. Regardless of whoever we are, it is a noble goal to come to understand what we are studying. And in biology classroom, that subject is evolution. Now, why do I point out that this is a human discussion? Well, anytime evolution is discussed, it's discussed among humans. And as humans, we have conscious and subconscious emotions that affect our every decision and how we feel. Some may feel like they can turn off their personal biases or that they're immune to their personal biases affecting their judgment. They're likely fooling themselves, as some of our emotions and biases are hardwired into our subconscious. Even being aware of these will counteract some of the effects, but it will not completely counteract. So a consequence of this is that in evolution instruction, the instructor could be perceived by the audience as being an authoritarian demanding that their conclusions be accepted. Some may passively accept this, and this is a less than ideal situation. Some may feel that this sounds fishy and that they would reject it automatically without actually fully considering it and trying to understand. Ideally, in a classroom or an instruction situation where both learner and instructor are aware of their personal biases, there can be enough discussion and focus on learning that the learners will achieve understanding. Now I'd like to talk about misconceptions. There are many different ways misconceptions can develop. They can arise from experience, they can be self-constructed, they may arise from poor understanding of the words being used, they can come from one's interpretive understanding of religious text, they can come from teleological sources that give you the purpose behind things. Misconceptions can be taught and learned by people that they too misunderstand. And so any of these misconceptions can lead to poor understanding of evolution if not addressed effectively. So we need to have an open mind about figuring out what we are misunderstanding. Common misconceptions that have been found in research I've done would be people not realizing that genetic gene drift refers to a change in frequency of gene variants, alleles in a population, not necessarily that a gene shifts. Thinking climate change is required before evolution can occur, when in reality what evolutionists currently believe is that the change happens first, and then those in the population with the The change happens first, and then the climate changes. And those with the change most adaptable are the ones that pass on their genetic material and outlive the others. Mistaking evolution to mean changes of trait, when in reality it's a change in the number of individuals in a population with certain traits. Saying evolution means humans came from monkeys, when in reality humans and other primates share a common ancient ancestor. So both humans and monkeys are modern species, and their common ancestor is an ancient species. Not knowing that evolution is formatted semantically, thinking that by finding something that just doesn't seem right, that means you have to throw the whole thing out the window, is misunderstanding exactly how we came to that means you're misunderstanding how evolution was formulated. And thinking evolution gives license to ruthless behavior, when in reality those that used evolution as their reason for ruthless behavior were individuals choosing to be ruthless in the first place. That would be examples like Nazi Germany and socialists in Russia. So there you go. Those are the common misconceptions that I found in my research. Now that you've been listening to me talk for about 6.5 minutes, well, getting closer to 7 minutes now, what does all this mean? Why are you watching this video? Well, my hope is in that watching this video you'll realize that it's a good thing to not just dismiss evolution as I did when I was in high school. You have an opportunity to learn something here, and it might make you uncomfortable, but in making you uncomfortable, it's going to give you an opportunity to think. I'm not saying that you have to accept it or anything like that. I'm just saying that I want to encourage you to put more mental effort in at least trying to understand what the argument is. Now, if you are understanding this and it keeps on seeming very fallish, that's fine, but at least try to understand it and at least seek to make sure that your understanding meshes with what modern scientists think happened. And in doing so, you will have a better learning experience. Your biology class will be an opportunity for you to learn and have fun. And really, that's what makes learning worthwhile. And it's what's going to give you food to think on for the rest of your life. You might not remember everything, but it'll give you thinking tools that you can use later when you're out in the workforce, making the world better. Thank you for watching.